Good morning, hello, and welcome to This Date in History, also known as TDH. This show is all about the events that occurred to date in years past, both recognized by actual historians, but mainly things that we personally find intriguing enough for us to bring to you. The sources of this information comes from the smart device application, Today in History, What Happened Today in History, Historical Calendar, and the website onthisday.com. For links to those sources, the music, and anything else potentially interesting that we gather throughout the show, check the underbar, the link, the description below. Anyway, I am A.O. Xander, and we are starting just a few minutes early. But why not? Today is Tuesday, aka Tuesday, June 21st, 2022. Starting us off in the year 68, Roman general Vespasian conquered Jericho during the Great Jewish Revolt. Doing a significant time jump into 1307, Kublai Khan is enthroned as Emperor of China and the 7th Great Khan after defeating rival factions and succeeding his uncle Temur Khan. Moving on up into 1529, Queen Catherine of England, or Catherine of Aragon, spoke against her marriage's annulment at the Blackfriars Legatine Court. 1672, Grand Pensionary of Holland, Johann de Witt, was seriously wounded. Ooh. Also in 1672, French troops under Louis XIV occupied Utrecht. I wonder if those two events are linked. I mean, he was seriously wounded, so maybe he was wounded in battle or something? I don't know. 1675, the foundation stone for London's St. Paul's Cathedral was laid. Cool. Why is it a picture of it on fire? By fire and destruction. Okay. 1684, King Charles II revokes Massachusetts Bay Colony Charter. Here we go. 1788, the U.S. Constitution came into effect when New Hampshire was the 9th state to ratify it. Nice. We, the people, in order to form a more perfect union. People have got to start thinking about that, you know. 1791, fleeing French King Louis XVI and his family were captured at Varennes in Argonne. Bunch of cowards. They fled yesterday and then they were caught today. So, good. In 1834, American inventor and businessman Cyrus McCormick patented the reaping machine. What is the reaping machine? Let's look that up here real quick. Reaping machine. A reaper is a farm implement or person that reaps crops at harvest when they are ripe. Usually the crop involved a cereal grass. The first documented reaping machines were Gaelic reapers that were used in Roman times in what would become modern-day France. Alright. For further reading on this particular invention, please refer to the underbar. Speaking of underbar, apparently somebody was in here the other day, left a comment while on the live show, and I did not see it, so I gotta start paying more attention to live chat. Moving on up into 1858, Louisiana chess prodigy Paul Morphy arrived in Europe. Interesting. It's an interesting haircut too. It kind of looks like, like a wave or a cliff or something, I don't know. 1869, William James, the father of American psychology, passed his medical examination at Harvard Medical School. Cool. 1887, Britain celebrated Golden Jubilee of Queen Victoria. What is a Golden Jubilee? Let's look that up here real quick. Golden Jubilee. A Golden Jubilee marks a 50th anniversary. It variously is applied to people, events, and nations. Okay. Well, I'm going to add this into the underbar as well. Let's see here. Superman. 1904, the U.S. Republican Party nominated Theodore Roosevelt for president, but not without opposition from those who he called malefactors of great wealth. Even back then, we were fighting, the money. So, gotta keep it up, guys. Keep up the fight. One of these days, we will win. It's just gonna be a hard slog. In the year 1919, the German Navy, feeling betrayed by the terms of the Treaty of Versailles, scuttled most of its ships in turn at Great Britain's Scapa Flow naval base in the Orkney Islands. Dang. 1923, Marcus Garvey was sentenced to 5 years for using mail to defraud. Dang. black nationalists, though. You know, these people are psychopaths, too. 1938, Bradman scored 101 in 77 minutes, Australia versus Lancashire. Alright. 1939, New York Yankees announced Lou Gehrig's retirement after doctors reveal he had amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, which would later become known as Lou Gehrig's disease. So, 1942, U.S. President Franklin D. Roosevelt and British Prime Minister Winston Churchill arrived in Washington, D.C. Interesting. Oh, yeah, that's for the war stuff. Also in 1942, Germany's Panzer Army, led by Erwin Rommel, took Tobruk in Libya, North Africa. Here we go. 1946, Bill Veeck bought baseball team Cleveland Indians for $2.2 million. Wow, you can't even get like some third level, fourth level player for that amount of money anymore, let alone an entire team. Good lord. Actually, what's $2.2 million? 1946? Oops. Wrong button. Let's see here. 2.2 million, 1946. Let's see here. 2 million would be... Oh, well, actually, let's see here. 2,200,000. Calculate. 2,200,000. 2,200,000. Would that work? Okay, there we go. 2,200,000 would be $34,976,984.62 today. Damn. That's 30,700,000. Good lord. Moving on up into 1948. Lord Mountbatten resigned as Governor General of India. Formerly, he was the last viceroy. Alright. Also in 1948, Columbia Records unveiled the 33 1/3 RPM LP phonograph record invented by Peter Carl Goldbart, allowing up to 20 minutes per side, available in 10 and 12-inch diameters, at the Waldorf Astoria Hotel in New York City. Over the next decade, the popularity and profitability of the LP pushed the 78 RPM out of production. 2 years later, in 1950, Joe DiMaggio hit his 2000th hit. Nice. 1955, Johnny Cash debuted his top 10 country song, Cry, Cry, Cry. I'm Johnny Cash. I don't know. 1957, John Diefenbacher took office as Prime Minister of Canada. I don't know what C is. Canada? I don't know. Also in 1957, Louis St. Laurent resigned as Prime Minister of Canada, ending the longest uninterrupted run at the federal level in Canadian history. Dang, so is he like the Canucks FDR or something? Moving on up into 1963, Cardinal Montilli was elected Pope Paul VI, the 262nd head of the Roman Catholic Church, succeeding John the 23rd. Also, moving on up into 1964, Phillies pitcher Jim Bunning hurled a perfect game as Philadelphia beat the New York Mets 6-0 on Father's Day at Shea Stadium. Oh, that must have been a great Father's Day to the Philadelphia fans, you know. 1965, during U.S. Opensman Golf at the Ballyrave Country Club, Gary Player of South Africa defeated Australian Kel Nagle by 3 strokes in an 18-hole playoff to win his only U.S. Open title. He completed his career Grand Slam at age of 29. He's pretty young to retire. 1 year later, in 1966, Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, directed by Mike Nichols and based on the 1962 play of the same name, starring Elizabeth Taylor and Richard Burton, was released, later to get the Academy Awards Best Actress in 1967. 1968, U.S. Supreme Court Justice Earl Warren announced he will resign once a successor is found. That's basically, he will not resign. 1969, Dmitri Shostakovich's 14th Symphony premiered in Moscow. 365 days later, in 1970, during the FIFA World Cup final, Estadio Azteca in Mexico City, Brazil and Pelé became the first team and player to win World Cup 3 times, beating Italy 4-1 out of 107 for in front of 107,412 people. Interesting. 1971, 50,000 people attended the Celebration of Life, a rock concert in McCree, Louisiana. The performers included Chuck Berry, Stephen Stills, War, John Sebastian, and Delaney and Bonnie. 1975, Elton John, the Eagles, and the Beach Boys played for up to 72,000 fans at Wembley Stadium in London. Yep, Elton John. I don't know why he hasn't been canceled with his song "Short People Don't Have the Right to Live" or whatever that song is. Short people got. 1975, British rock guitarist Ritchie Blackmore quit Deep Purple and formed Rainbow. Okay. What the hell is Deep Purple? Let me look that up. British rock Ritchie Blackmore. Okay. Oh, it has to be band then. What is he? Guitarist. Okay. Okay, that makes sense. Why don't I read? 1977, former White House Chief of Staff H.R. Hagman entered prison. Ooh. A lot of people in the White House now got to follow in this guy's footsteps, tell you what. Also in 1977, Menachem Begin of Likud became Israel's 6th Prime Minister. Also in 1978, Andrew Lloyd Webber and Tim Rice's musical Evita, starring Ellen Page, premiered at the Prince Edward Theatre in London. 1979, during the Glastonbury Festival in Pilton, England, the Tim Blake and Peter Gabriel headlined with other performers including Steve Hillage, the Alex Harvey Band, and Sky. 1981, Donald Fagen and Walter Becker disbanded their rock group Steely Dan. Who's a real Dirty Dan? 1 year later, in 1982, Paul McCartney released his single Take It Away. Oh, poor guy, looks like he had a stroke. Maybe he did, I don't know. 1982, as well, John Hinckley was found not guilty of the 1981 attempted assassination of President Reagan by reason of insanity. Ugh. People just get away with things, don't they? Moving on up into 1983, tennis ace Arthur Ashe undergoed double bypass heart surgery. You'd think that he'd be more in shape being a tennis guy, you know, an ace. Why does he need heart surgery, you know? 1985, the Glastonbury Festival in Pilton, England opened. Echo and the Bunnyman, Joe Crocker, and the Bottomtown Rats headline with other performers including The Style Council, Ian Dury, The Blockheads, Nick Lowe, Third World, Gregory Isaacs, Hugh Masekela, Clanad, Midnight Oil, Aswad, and the Pogues. 1986, 1985 Heisman Trophy winner Bo Jackson signed a 3-year contract to play baseball with the Kansas City Royals. Also in 1986, President Reagan gave a speech defending his judicial appointments. 1 year later, in 1987, Mike Tyson sexually harassed a parking lot attendant. Okay. 1989, Yankees trade Rickey Henderson to the A's for Plunk, Cataract, and Polonia. 1990, Little Richard, or the Pennyman, got a star on Hollywood's Walk of Fame. Nice. Pennyman? Piano Man. Sing me a song, Piano Man. 1991, New York Islanders Dennis Potvin and Mike Bossy were elected to the Hockey Hall of Fame. 1992, the last day of Test cricket for English star players Ian Botham and Alan Lamb occurred. 1 year later, in 1993, revival of Lerner and Loewe's musical Camelot with Robert Goldthwait as King Arthur opened at Gershwin Theater, New York City, ran for 56 performances. That's not bad. 1994, German tennis player superstar Steffi Graf became the first defending champion to lose on the first round of a major tournament, specifically in Wimbledon, to the U.S. Lori McNeil. Damn. 1997, the NHL draft Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds OHL center Joe Jordan was first picked by Boston Bruins. Okay. In 2001, Mexican artist Frida Kahlo was the first Hispanic woman to be honored on a U.S. postage stamp. Nice. 1 year later, in 2002, Lennox Lewis retained boxing's WBC World Heavyweight crown with the 8-round knockout over Mike Tyson. Wow. This guy beat Mike Tyson? Impressive. 1 year later, in 2003, Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, the 5th book of the series by J.K. Rowling, was published worldwide in English. 2 years later, in 2005, Billy Corgan released The Future Embrace, his first solo album. 2012, the NBA Finals, Miami Heat won their second NBA title, defeating Oklahoma City Thunder 121-106 in Game 5. Most valuable player is the Chinese bootlicker LeBron James. In 2017, during the Glastonbury Festival in Pilsen, England, Radiohead, Foo Fighters, and Ed Sheeran headlined with other performers including Chris Christopherson, Barry Gibb, Katy Perry, the National and Orchestra Baobab. 2018, Sarah Netanyahu, wife of Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, was charged with fraud. What a surprise. 2019, the UK police called to a House of Leader contender Boris Johnson over alleged altercation with his girlfriend. Huh. Wow. In 2020, just 2 years ago, Kurt Cobain's guitar during Nirvana's MTV music television Unplugged show sold for a record $6 million. Wow. I guess you can call that mind-blowing. Yeah, I had to give it a shot. I'm going to hell. Anyway, moving on up into bursts. Do I have any comments? Do I have any viewers? I have no viewers going on right now. Well, I have one view. Oh. Anyway, bursts, and starting us off at 906, we have Abu Jafar Ahmad ibn Muhammad, was a Safarid emir, dying in 963. And we have quite a bit of bursts today. So it's, 1226, Boleslaw V the Chast of Poland, dying in 1279. 1521, John II, Duke of Schleswig-Holstein-Haderslev, died in 1580. 1630, Samuel Oppenheimer was a German-Jewish banker and diplomat, dying in 1703. 1636, Godefroy Maurice de la Tour d'Auvergne, Duke of Bouillon, French noble, dying in 1721. 1710, James Short, Scottish-English mathematician and optician, dying in 1768. 1732, Johann Christoph Friedrich Bach. Is that the musician guy, whatever? I think so. I think this is Bach, you know. Where'd it go? Was born on the States. He was a German pianist and composer, dying in 1791. 1736, Enoch Poor. Poor guy. He was an American general. Died in 1780. 1741, Prince Benedetto, Duke of Chavalis. Died in 1808. 1786, Charles Edward Horn. I wonder if he tooted his own horn. He was an English singer-songwriter. Dying in 1849. 1839, Joaquim Maria Machado de Assis was a Brazilian author, poet, and playwright, dying in 1908. 1846, Marian Adams Action, Scottish-English author and playwright, dying in 1928. 1850, Daniel Carter Beard was the American author and illustrator who co-founded the Boy Scouts of America. You know, like basically our version of the Hitler Youth, dying in 1941. 1862, Damrong Rajanubhab, a Thai historian and author, dying in 1943. Yeah, you know, that guy's not just wrong, he's damn wrong. 1880, Josiah Stamp, first Baron Stamp, English economist and civil servant, dying in 1941. 1882, Luis Companys was born on the States. He was a Spanish lawyer and politician who was the 123rd president of Catalonia, dying in 1940. 1891, Pier Luigi Nervi was an Italian architect and engineer who co-designed the Pirelli Tower and Cathedral of St. Mary of the Assumption, dying in 1979. And what do these look like? Let's see here. Images. The Pieri Tower. Okay, that's a pretty cool tower. Really thin and everything. Really interesting. Are those rooms up there or are those hallways? I don't know. Really an interesting building there. And what does this cathedral look like? Let's take a look here. That's pretty cool. It kind of looks like one of those like old style nurse hats, you know, like old nurse hats. Like well, I guess not. Well, like, you know, like this. Let's see, I don't know. Anyway, let's move on. Who else was born on the stage? Charles Mommsen in 1896 was an American admiral who invented the Mommsen lung. Dying in 1967. What is the Mommsen lung? Let's take a look at that. Mommsen lung. The Mommsen lung was a primitive underwater rebreather used before and during World War II by U.S. submariners as emergency escape gear. Oh, well, that's cool. Definitely add that in the underbar. Just need to save that. Alright. 1900, Georges Henri Bosquet, French economist and Islamologist, dying in 1978. 1903, Hermann Engelhard, German runner and coach. So Hermann's Engel is hard. Okay. 1916, I don't know what an Engel is. You know, 1916, Joseph Cyril Bamford, English businessman who founded J.C. Bamford, dying in 2001. In the year 1919, Paolo Soleri was born on this date. He was an Italian U.S. architect who designed the Castani, dying in 2013. What is the Castani? Let's check that out here. Images. Castani. Paolo. Okay, yeah, so it is this one. I think I remember seeing this before. This is an interesting building. Oh. Anyway. Oh, there we go, that's better. 1921, William Edwin Self was a U.S. actor, producer, and production manager. I wonder if he talked about himself. He died in 2010. 1922, Joseph Kizerbo, a Burkinabe historian, politician, and writer, dying in 2006. 1926, Fred Cohn was born on this date. He was a U.S. football player, dying just last year in 2021. 1931, Zlatko Grk, Croatian-Canadian animator, director, and screenwriter, dying in 1988. 1932, O.C. Smith, a U.S. rhythm and blues and jazz singer, dying in 2001. But what is his actual name? O.C. Smith. O.C. Lee Smith. Okay. Copy, paste, save, put you down. There we go. 1938, Michael M. Richter, German mathematician and computer scientist, dying in 2020. So, who invented the Richter scale? Charles Francis Richter. So, no. Did not invent the Richter scale. Adam Zagajewski was born to date in 1945. He was a Polish author and poet, dying just last year as well in 2021. 1946, Mari Sachi, Baron Sachi, an Iraqi businessman who founded M&C Sachi and Sachi & Sachi. 1947, Michael Gross is a U.S. actor, although he probably looks hella gross today. I don't know. 1954, Mar Guðmundsson was an Icelandic economist and former governor of Central Bank of Iceland. I didn't realize that they they structured politically. Governor of the Central Bank, wouldn't it be like a CEO or CFO or something? I don't know. 1957, Berkeley Berkeley Breathed is a U.S. author and illustrator. 1959, Marcella Detroit. It's supposed to be Detroit. Born on the stage, she is a U.S. singer, songwriter, and guitarist. 1961, Manu Chao is a French singer, songwriter, guitarist, and producer. 1967, Jim Breuer, U.S. comedian, actor, and producer. And also, go check out his Pizza Hut video. It's really funny. 1967 as well saw Pierre Omidyar born on the stage. He is the French-U.S. businessman who founded eBay. 1978, Rimkay. Sounds more like a request for a lewd act. Rimkay. Oh, you want Rimkay? No. His actual name is Abdelkarim Brahmi. He is a French rapper. Copy. Alright. Let's put this in aka K.A. Rim K. 1979, Chris Pratt, U.S. actor. We all know who he is. 1983, Edward Snowden, U.S. activist and academic. Let's see here. I'm going to change this live on the show. Academic and hero to the people of Earth, and as well as a champion of transparency. Period. Keep on keeping on, Edward Snowden. If you see this, you have my support, my friend. 1985, Byron Shammer, Australian footballer. 1992, Max. Who's this guy? U.S. singer, songwriter, actor, dancer, and model. Let's see. 1999, Max. 1992. Who's this guy? Max. No, the guy. Max. 1992. Birth. No, please. Max. 92. Singer. Is this gonna get Max Schneider? Born June 21st. That's the day. Okay, yeah. Maxwell George Schneider, also known as Max. Not just Max, but you have to yell at him. Max! Alright, there we go. Let's see here. AKA Max. And in 1977, Rebecca Black, U.S. singer-songwriter, most notably known for It's Friday, Friday. Saturday is tomorrow, and Sunday comes afterward. I wish I was being funny, but that's actually how the song goes, I think. Anyway, moving on into deaths. Starting in 532, we have Emperor Jiamin of Northern Wei, who was a former Northern Wei emperor. Birth is unknown. 866, Rudolph, Frankish Archbishop. Birth is unknown. 870, Al-Mu'tadi, Muslim Caliph. Birth is unknown. 947, Al-Mu'tadi, Muslim Caliph. Birth is unknown. Wait a minute. What the hell? Hold on. Let me look at this real quick. Did I have a double? Hold on. Live edit. As soon as the app decides to load. Deaths. Okay, go away advertisements. This is a 947. Okay. 868, 947. Zhang He, official of the... Okay, I got that. That's the only 1947. So 870, Amatadi, 947. Okay, well that's weird. Okay. 947, Zhang Li, official of the Liao dynasty, birth is unknown. 1631, John Smith died on the States. He was an English admiral and explorer, and yes, the same John Smith as from Pocahontas. He was born in 1580. 1652, Inigo Jones was an English architect who designed the Queen's House and Wilton House. He was born in 1573. And let's take a look at what these buildings look like. Okay, well that's rather boring and drab, but still prestigious and whatnot. Wilton House. What does Wilton House look like? Well, that's a lot better. A lot more character in this one. Yeah, an actual lawn and everything. Interesting. Moving on up into 1876, Antonio Lopez de Santa Anna died on this date. He was a Mexican general and politician who was the 8th president of Mexico, and yes, the same Santa Anna that laid siege to the Alamo. He was born in 1794. 1952, Wap May what? Canadian captain and pilot. Birth is 1896. 1954, Gideon Sundback was a Swedish-U.S. engineer who developed the zipper. So thank you. He was born in 1880. 1964, James Chaney, U.S. civil rights activist, born in 1943. 1964 as well, Andrew Goodman was also a U.S. civil rights activist, also born in 1943. In 1964, also saw Michael Schwerner died, a U.S. civil rights activist. He was born in 1939. So something happened today where 3 civil rights people got killed. I don't know what it was. I don't remember reading about it in the history thing, so I don't know. 1967, Theodore Sizer was a U.S. professor of the history of art. He was born in 1892. 1970, Sukarno was an Indonesian engineer and politician who was the first president of Indonesia. He was born in 1901. 1985, Hector Boiardi. That name is familiar for a reason because he is the Italian U.S. chef and businessman who founded Chef Boyardee. He was born in 1897. 1987, Madman Muntz died on the stage. He was a U.S. engineer and businessman who founded the Muntz Car Company. He was born in 1914. But is that his actual name? Earl William Madman Muntz. Alright. So that was a moniker. Let's put that in here. We have 1990, Cedric Belfrage was an English journalist and author who co-founded the National Guardian. He was born in 1904. 1997, Shintaro Katsu was the Japanese actor, singer, director, and producer. Was born in 1931. 2001, John Lee Hooker died on the stage. He was a U.S. singer, songwriter, and guitarist. Born in 1917. Dang, you know. 2007, Bob Evans was a U.S. businessman who founded Bob Evans Restaurants. He was born in 1918. 2012, Anna Schwartz. May the Schwartz be with you. Was a U.S. economist and author, born in 1915. And last but not least, we have Charles Krauthammer. Died on the stage in 2018. He was a U.S. columnist and conservative political commentator. He was born in 1950, just 5 years too late to really bring the hammer to the Krauts. And that concludes the show. Once again, check the underbar in the description for any links that you may be interested in, which includes, various, people's Twitches and YouTube channels and everything, Omni Coalition and all that stuff. Anyway, for your dose of past events daily, we stream every day at 10 in the morning Pacific time. For all of you and all of us, I am A.O. Xander, and you are you. Until you see us tomorrow, don't forget to look right and left at every intersection, rate 5 thumbs, and subscribe. Until then, toodles! Let's go, Brandon.